What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Hello! And welcome to
Kim and Kat.
Stay Alive.
Maybe.
We are a horror movie comedy podcast.
We're going to tell you the entirety of a movie, spoilers and all.
And today, I, Lauren Ketrin Porter Martin, the first and only, am going to be the teller of the tale.
And I, Kim Burns, am going to try to stay alive.
Yeah. Hello. How
Hello
are you,
again.
my life?
I'm
Hello
great.
again.
How are you?
Yes. This is take 2, everyone, because Spectrum can suck a dick. In case anyone
Yes.
I'm
Vagina
here.
holes out.
Tits up, my bitch.
Are you drinking Screwball and Guinness again?
I am drinking Screwball.
Just straight Screwball.
Just getting screwed.
Nice.
No, I drank Eric's last Guinness that he kindly said, of course you can have the last Guinness for the podcast, the take 1 that Spectrum ruined yesterday. So.
I mean, we only recorded like 10, 15 minutes before we were like, this is stupid. Let's do it tomorrow.
Yes.
Unlike, it wasn't like a full 2-3 hours or something. So
Right, which has happened. And man, guys, you don't know the heartbreak of recording for 3 hours and having it be kaput. Or perhaps you do. I don't know. I don't know your life.
Yeah. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah. So it is the beginning of October,
Yay.
the best month of all the months for many reasons.
Yay.
What is one reason? What's one reason, Burns?
It's spooky season.
And what's reason number 2?
Halloween.
And 3.
All Souls Eve.
Okay, bitch. It's also my birthday month.
Yay.
I'm very excited. I made a full moon Samhain magic elixir that you and I will get to enjoy on Halloween.
Yay.
It will be infusing with magical powers for 1 month,
Yay.
1 moon cycle, and then we will drink all the magic.
I can't wait to get it in me.
It's going to be wonderful.
Give me the magic. Oh, I love it. I love it, all of it. We're going
Yeah.
to be having a little Halloween Eve outdoor magic sesh when we pull our winner for our Funko Pop. The night before, on October 30th, we're going to do a tale of drunk horror live to see if the Madam of Horror can stay alive in a movie.
Exactly.
We're going to be on a Women in Horror Fest panel. I forgot to mention that on our Instagram story yesterday.
I know, but also we don't have the details yet.
No, but
right?
for
So we can
Etheria Film Fest, October 24th or 25th. And then we're going to celebrate Kedron's birthday with our own live show at Horrible Imaginings Campfire Tales on October 10th.
Yeah, we have a full month, you guys. We're super excited. We also have a collaboration episode coming out with the girls over at the Creep It Real podcast.
That should be next week.
Yeah, if you guys aren't familiar with them, bone up on their shit. They're fucking awesome, delightful women. It's a true crime podcast. So they're going to talk about a true crime event, and then we are going to talk about the movie based on that event.
Yeah. It's going to be so
It's
fun.
going to be a
I'm so
little
excited.
crossy over.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yes, crisscross.
What's up, dude?
I'm feeling good. I'm going to do my quick PSA for everybody on my...
We recorded
Take
this yesterday, and for whatever reason, like, I guess just the internet was off. So it's like when you listen back, it's like Kedron talking, but like me having reactions, but they're like 5 seconds too early. So it's like,
Yeah.
and then it just sounds really weird.
So we talked about like that would be like the worst superpower is like you can see into the future, but like only 1 second. So like she knew what I was going to say, but like only 1 second ahead of time. Worst superpower ever. So I'm keeping you guys abreast of my mental health. It's a progress report for me, and I want it to be helpful to all of you. I'm feeling really good, and I'm trying really hard to not beat myself up for not having evaluated my meds sooner. But the reason that happens, and this is the part that's a PSA for anyone who's struggling, and this does not just count for people who are like struggling with a diagnosed mental illness. Everybody is under pressure right now, and everybody is struggling. The disease tells you that you're fine and this is as good as it's going to get. So the idea of embarking upon a journey that may be frustrating or not work or have side effects, or you need to try a lot of different things, is really hard to make the decision to do that unless there's a rock bottom event. I would hope that all of you avoid whatever your rock bottom events may be. And let me just tell you, get your mental health shit in order now. Let's start now, because the next coming months are only going to get more stressful. So let's all figure our shit out so that we have all of the arrows in our quiver.
Yes. I told Katja I read something today that was like, our brains are made to survive, not to make us happy.
100.
And so, that's our job, our conscious mind's job. To figure that out. And may it be meds, which is great and wonderful, or may it be kind of the thing that I talked about a couple weeks ago of like, doing the work to figure it out. And it makes me really happy that you just seem really, really great, Kat, and it makes me really happy to see you that way because I love you and you're my best friend.
I love you too, and my problems have not gone away. But I have.
That's what we said yesterday. That's what I was talking about. It's hard when we do the double talk.
I know. Yeah, it is hard. So
you say it. You say it again.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying was, yes, this is what it was. So when I was very young, and my parents were making my mental health decisions for me, obviously, because I was a minor. It was very difficult to sort of get a child on board for like, you need to see a therapist, you may need medication, all that kind of stuff. And I said, I remember saying to my mother, I don't know how taking a pill will fix my problems. And at a very young age, my mom said, it does not. It will not. Your problems will not go away. And there is nothing I can do about that. What I can do is help you have, I'm going with this metaphor again, have as many arrows in your quiver as possible.
Yes.
And right now, your quiver is empty.
Yeah.
So
it's like the outside world's not going to change, but like I'm in control of like my mindset and like how I feel about it.
Exactly. And I am someone who requires meds. Kim is not. So we are not telling you one way or the other. Nope. We're telling you to just get whatever shit together you need to get together, and it's going to be different
100%.
for everyone.
It's going to be different for everyone, and it's like great the way that whatever that is. Like there's no shame in the game. Mm-hmm. Because we've both had the deepest, darkest moments of literally wanting to commit suicide, like multiple times, and like it is interesting, but it is interesting, I think, that like for some that can be like an actual part of your brain doing that, and like I think for me it's usually more of a circumstantial situation.
Exactly.
So
So the last thing I'll say that I think I started to say is Kim and I are pretty reachable. Sammy's Stay Alive Maybe, we're constantly checking in there
on the Facebook group.
On the Facebook group. We're both on Instagram and Twitter. So if you're just completely lost for resources, I'm sure Kim and I have suggestions for you. Obviously, speak to professionals. But if you're just sort of lost of where to start, reach out to us. We're happy to answer preliminary questions.
I want everyone to be thriving.
100.
happy.
Okay, PSA concluded. Ms. Burns, next on the agenda.
Okay, here's the thing that I did. I was going to share one thing, and then a new thing came in the same realm last night.
Okay.
But I did one thing that I was really proud of myself, and you'll all understand why. But I was supposed to like have a virtual date with someone that I met on like a dating app or whatever. And we first just said like the day that it would be. And then like the day of, I kind of don't even hear from him for like most of the day. And then he's finally like, oh, are we still on for tonight? Is 9 good? Do you want to get sushi? And I was like, 9 is good. I thought we were doing virtual. And then he's like, what makes you think we're doing virtual? And I was like, because we agreed to it. And then I like sent him a screenshot of like us talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mind you, also like we hadn't talked that much. Like some people I talk way more before we actually like get to like the next step or whatever. We hadn't talked that much. And like, yeah, this is like pretty much coming from like the COVID situation of like doing virtual dates first. But like, if I'm still dating after COVID's over, like I'm going to keep that. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I don't want to fucking like, especially someone I haven't talked to that much. I'm just like, I don't want to fucking like get dressed, drive to where the fuck ever, sit down, realize I'm not into you 20 minutes in and have to finish out a sushi dinner with you. Like, you know what I mean?
Totally. It's a fucking great litmus test.
Great. It's wonderful. Like to know if you want to go to the next step. So anyway, I'm here for it no matter what. But it already felt a little like weird. You know, I already had my tingles going. And I was like, is that not okay with you? And then he's like, actually, that's a great idea. Or like, that's great. Or something like that. I'll message you like when I'm done with my workout. And I was like, great. And then 9 o'clock comes and goes.
Shut the fuck up.
And I don't hear from him until 10 o'clock. He messages me on Instagram.
No.
And sends a picture of like the tub filling up. And being like, oh, I worked out with some friends and now I'm just relaxing. Would you want to get together sometime?
No.
I was like,
she would not.
What? And, you know, I had to think on it. And I wrote down my exact response right away. And I was like, I'm going to sleep on this, though, and also not reply to him for a night. And the next day I responded and I said, I thought it was rude that we agreed to talk at 9 and then I didn't hear from you until an hour after that on Instagram and then without even a mention of it. And to be quite frank, I'm looking for a man who respects me and my time and treats me better than that.
I have full fucking body goosebumps and chills. Oh my God.
Get your passed out. What? Did I kill her? What happened?
I'm sorry. I am dead. I'm a ghost now.
Ghost toast.
I experienced Nirvana and my meat suit was like, we're not needed anymore. And my soul left my body. I'm
I can't just crying. I'm not sure how you feel. There's a lot. It feels.
I'm just so fucking proud of you. Like, I'm responding to a lot of information other than just the story because I feel like I've just known you for so long. And the idea of what you just did is like
making me cry.
It's, I am sorry. I have no words. I'm just so fucking proud of you. Because as I was listening to it, it's just like, it's fucking disrespectful. Mm-hmm. But then there's like a casual disrespect.
Yeah.
That is more infuriating. And I'm so fucking in love with you right now. Like, I feel like I'm going to shit myself. Like, I just love it because you weren't bitchy. To those of you not on Patreon, I made air quotes because there's no version of what she said that's bitchy, but it is often construed that way.
Yeah.
By the patriarchy. I'll just say it. It was a fucking beautiful response. And
I was really
and you didn't need to message like me or Sync to be like, should I send this? Like you were like, I'm in my fucking power and I know that I should send this. And just like, queen bitch, hi, nice to meet you. I fucking love you. Like that was beautiful.
Yeah, I felt really proud of myself. Like I was just like, I don't deserve to be treated that way, and I'm not going to allow this person to. But so here's what's interesting, and this is what I shared on my Instagram today too. And I had seen this before this and like saved it. I was like, oh yeah, I get that. And then I was like, now I really get it even more. Because for the entire day though, after sending it, I have like a pit in my gut waiting to see if he might reply and what that's going to be. You know what I mean? Thankfully he just didn't reply, which is the best outcome as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And I was talking to like some of the girls about it and like, was like, dude, every time I advocate for myself, I like have this, you know, this feeling until I get like the response from it. You know what I mean? And I think it's something a lot of people experience. I think especially a lot of women, but there's this thing that says, if you feel guilty at first when setting boundaries, remember you have been conditioned to put your needs, wants, feelings, and humanity aside to please others. Yeah. And you can unlearn this successfully with practice and the right guidance.
Holy shit. That's incredible. Yeah. It's just fucking incredible. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Is that all of our business? Do you want to hear a movie?
I do want to hear a movie. I'm very excited.
Okay. So this is a Shudder original that Kim and I had a lot of confusion about, but we got it all sorted out.
But it's how the beauty of last week's episode came to be.
Yep. So true.
Because there are two movies with this title.
Yep. And the one that I'm doing is the Shudder Original Spiral. So
not the future movie Spiral that is part of the Saw family.
Exactly. So this is Spiral. You can go watch it right now if you wish. And it was great. Okay. I remembered my Dead or Alives this week.
Thank you.
So here we go. Malik.
Oh, alive.
Aaron. Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah.
Drives me nuts that people say those two names as if they're the same word. They're very different. Aaron and Aaron.
Wait. Either one. Are they dead or alive?
Aaron is alive.
Kayla.
Alive.
Marshall.
Dead.
Tiffany.
Alive.
Tyler.
Dead.
And we're back.
It felt like that.
Yeah. It was moving right along. Here we go.
Did I tell you that Philly Cheesesteak did listen to some of the podcast? And
no.
He kept saying certain things about like what I was saying, and I was like, I really think you might be mixing up our voices. Like who's who? Because like what he would say, I was like, that really sounds more like Cutrin. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. He's like, I can tell your voice. He's like, you still sound like you're from Fox Chase. And I was like, oh,
that's funny. What did he think? Do you remember what he thought you were saying?
He said something about like my vocabulary. That it was great, and I was like, doesn't sound. I was like, I would venture to say anyone who listened to the podcast would say the opposite of us.
No, but like, you know what words mean. Sometimes you just can't think of the word.
Yeah,
but
I
that's
just
not
see the picture.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but I never know what that comes off like to others. So
I'm very curious. Now I want details. I'm very curious.
I just thought that was funny. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I didn't realize I still had a Philly accent until the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Did you figure out? So it was made this year, but who's the writer director?
So the writer director is.
It did just come out, right? This year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is written by John Poliquin and Colin Minihan. And then the director is Kurtis David Harder.
Oh.
And I'm going to talk a little bit more about like what these writers and directors have done at the end. Because some of it gives some themes away. So I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah. Okay. So we open on a neon sign that says Angels Drive-In, December 12th, 1983. And it's lightly snowing. It's starting to stay on the ground and not melt. And there's just like really sweet music playing, and we pan into a car and two boys making out, and it's just like very sweet. Then we see headlights through the windshield of their car, and they both stop, and they can't really see because the headlights are like brights on.
Yeah.
And then we flash to present day, two dads in the car, 1995.
Okay.
So it's 12 years later, 1995.
And we are to assume it's the same two boys?
Okay. That one of the boys is the same.
Okay.
Malik is the same boy from
Okay.
the flashback. So we flash to two dads in the car. Malik is definitely like the younger dad, and Aaron is the older daddy, if you will, but like in a cute way.
Okay.
And they have a 16-year-old daughter in the car. And it's this beautiful, almost like Midwestern landscape in the sense that like there are acres and acres and acres and acres of nothing, and then there'll just be a small little town. Okay.
Okay.
They are driving over this old bridge into the small town, and they're just talking about, you know, like that how beautiful it is. And obviously the 16-year-old daughter is annoyed that they're moving because she's 16 and they took her out of her school in Chicago, and she's over it.
Fucking been there.
Exactly.
I get it. It's
Yes.
the worst.
Yeah. She appears to like her dad and stepdad, but regardless, they are moving her to like a super small town. So they're just kind of talking about it, and she's doing a lot of teenage eye
dad
rolling.
and stepdad?
Yes, we learned that later. So like her dad is like the older dad, and then her stepdad is Malik, who was the one in the flashback.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so she's doing a lot of like teenage eye rolling and blah, 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 blah. Bird hits the windshield. And they just kind of like swerve and like stop. And everyone kind of takes a deep breath. And then we just see Spiral across the screen. So
Never
now
a
they're in their
good
new...
sign.
No. So now they're in their new house, and it totally reminded me of You, Me, and Sophia moving, where like that first night we ate Taco Bell by candlelight in our air mattresses.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. And Malik is telling this story about like his club kid days. Club kids? RuPaul, I think, refers to them as like scene kids or club kids. And he's talking about like his first love, and it was like a drag scene, and this guy had just like beautiful long blonde hair and sculpted abs, and I was just in my 20s, and Kayla, his stepdaughter, is like, and how did it end up? And he's like, oh, he turned out to be a prick, but most of them are.
Totally.
Yeah. And then he kind of like looks over at Kayla's dad, and he's like, except your dad.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. And they're just talking, and then at one point, Dad, Aaron, goes, do you hear that? And they're like, what? It's like, shh. Do you hear it? They're like, no, we don't hear anything. And he goes, exactly. No traffic, no screaming, no sounds of the city.
Right.
Just silence. And Kayla just kind of like rolls her eyes, and like Malik kind of does too. And then
I feel like that would stress me out a little bit.
it would stress you out. Whereas I'm like, I love it. No sound, no humans, just
like
plants and
used to,
birds.
Like, having some sounds always, like a little bit of city.
No, thank you. So then Kayla's like, what about you, Dad? And she's like, how did you lose your virginity? Was it with mom? And Aaron is like, yep. And she's like, how old were you? And he's like, I was 100 years old, which is how old you will be when you lose your virginity. And then she looks at him and she's like, how do you know I haven't lost it already?
Ooh.
And he's just like, and we're done. All very sweet. It's very cute. And even her teenage attitude about clearly her parents splitting up and her dad coming out and her new stepdad.
Right.
Stressful, but she's fine, kind of thing. I do want to remind you it's 1995. So.
Oh, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. So now we cut to Malik and Aaron in the kitchen, and Aaron is doing dishes, and Malik is like, she's just being like a teenager. Like, she just feels abandoned by her mom. She's blaming you. She'll get over it. Like, Malik is very much able to like sort of be the translator of a teenager because it's very clear that he's younger than Aaron is. And Aaron comes over and he's like, I just don't get all this stuff. He's like, you're the New York party monster and I'm the old man. And they kiss and it's super cute. And Aaron's like, all right, I got to go to work. And Mal is like, can't you just take another day off? And he's like, no, somebody's got to pay for this house. And it's very sweet. So Aaron leaves the room of their kitchen. Malik kind of like stands there, like finishing his glass of wine, just kind of ruminating on the conversation. And then we cut to outside of their home and we see Malik through the window and a hooded figure is standing in their yard, just staring at them. So now we cut to an expansive town landscape. But again, it's very much like, here's the town and here's nothing around it.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah. Well, yes. In this context, yes, and you'll find out why. So now we cut to Mal in bed, and it's morning, and he kind of like rolls over to like put his hand on Aaron, and Aaron is already up. So Mal then goes to wake up Kayla. And he's like, get up, bitch. Like, he very much, it's like very cute. And he's like, get up. We're going to like get this place together before your dad gets home. And Kayla's just like, no, I don't want to. And like, finally, she gets up. So then we cut to Mal setting up his computer. So he's clearly like a work from home type of situation.
Okay.
And Aaron goes to an office. So then we cut to Kayla. She's now woken up and she's like putting on a little bit of makeup and she takes a selfie, but with a Polaroid camera.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Of her just sort of like at her vanity, having like put on mascara at her new house. And then she like prints it out and puts it on her billboard.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then she goes and she's like unpacking a box and she like kind of finds a picture and she's looking at it just like, oh, like this is cool. So then we cut to Malik and Kayla sitting at the foot of her bed and they're looking at a photo album together. And Malik is like telling her like what all the pictures are and stuff. And then she comes to a picture of two guys in drag. And she's like, is that dad? And Malik is like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God. And like, she's just like so weirded out. But in a very cute way of like, I'm seeing my dad in a dress, totally. Not in like a homophobic way. But again, it's 1995.
Totally.
And this is where Malik is like, girl, like you just need to choose to live your life. Live your truth and live it loud and live it proud.
Okay, Malik, thank you.
It's so sweet. It's so fucking sweet.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Yeah, and it's cute because like they clearly have this like they're closer in age relationship, and there's a lot of eye rolling on her part and a lot of eye rolling on his part, frankly. But you can tell that they respect each other
totally in
a way that's beneficial to them both.
Yeah.
So now we cut to Malik. And he is putting that picture of him and Aaron in drag on his little bulletin board, like in his home office. And he just looks at it and smiles. And then he opens up another box and he pulls out a pair of broken eyeglasses and just sets them decoratively on the credenza that the billboard is above. And it's just like little broken glasses.
Do you call bulletin boards billboards, or you just keep accidentally saying that?
Oh, just constantly fucking it up.
Okay.
I feel it as it happens. Bulletin boards. Bulletin board. Bulletin board.
A couple of times, and I was like, I think she means bulletin board, but she keeps saying billboard. And I was like, does she call them billboards? Is that a secret word that I don't know?
No, I 100% mean bulletin board.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so he places the glasses on the credenza, and at this point we see a flashback to the car and headlights and the kids making out, and the kid that Malik is making out with has those glasses on.
Okay.
So now we cut to Malik taking out the trash, and at the foot of his driveway he sees his neighbor across the way is an old man standing at the foot of his driveway, and Malik goes, "Hey, we're the new neighbors." And the old man just stares at him, shakes his head.
Oh, no.
And goes back inside.
Fuck.
So Malik is just kind of like...
unfriended.
Yeah, unfriended. And Malik also has a very sort of like... He's not shocked.
Totally, yeah.
By this.
Yeah. I mean, I unfriended that old man on Facebook. That's what I was saying.
Me too.
Yeah.
100. Well... But hold.
Okay.
So cut to Kayla on the phone, and she's on speakerphone in her room with a boy named Derek. And Aaron comes in, and he's just like the cutest dad because like he's just like doing all the shit he has to do. He's picking up her laundry and shit. And like he hears that Derek is on the phone. He's like, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" And blah, blah, blah. And Kayla kind of gives Aaron a look, being like, "Dad, get out." And so he just goes, "Derek, buddy, I got to run because if I stay in this room, I'm going to get murdered. So talk to you soon."
They're so cute.
So cute. And so he leaves and Aaron shuts the door. But then Derek is on speakerphone. So like as he shuts the door, he hears Derek say, "How's your other dad?" And Kayla's like, "Fine. Why?" And he's like, "I'm just asking." And he's like, "Do me a favor though. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but like, just don't share any drinks with them, okay?"
Don't share any drinks with them?
Yes. So 1995, it was still very common to think that you could get AIDS from a toilet seat, that all gay people had AIDS,
What?
that if you shared a drink with them, you would get AIDS. Yeah. Still super common. Yeah. Which I didn't remember that.
I mean, we were kind of young, so.
We were young, and also, like, I don't believe either of us were, like, in a community where, like, we would have known any out people at the time. That would have been, like, in the gay scene. If anything, they were closeted. You know what I mean? Like, we just wouldn't have had a conversation about that at that age.
100%.
That we were.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Ugh.
Yeah. So.
Or that you could, like, catch being gay, I guess, from drinking.
Yeah.
So...
Or that all gay people have AIDS and you're going to catch it. Like, I guess it was still unclear that, like, you could only catch AIDS in certain ways.
I don't like that.
I don't either. Yeah, it sucked pretty bad, apparently, when the whole AIDS thing came through. I actually had because if you guys don't know, Eric is just shy of a decade older than me. So like a lot of his experiences are very different because his consciousness was completely beyond mine at the time things were going on. And he's like, yeah, the AIDS thing was terrifying and polarizing and dominated so many conversations, which is just so interesting to me. So now we cut to Mal at his desk, and he's watching a videotape of this old white dude who's spouting off about inalienable rights and blah, blah, blah. And it's like an interview type situation. And Malik is like watching it and fast forwarding and rewinding. And then Aaron comes up behind him and he's like, how's it going? And Malik is like, this guy just fucking sucks. And he's like, I just can't believe I'm still doing spec writing. So what it is it looks like he's a ghostwriter for this guy who doesn't want to do the writing. So the guy sat down and just spoke.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just talks and then
Aaron, Malik writes it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aaron is like, I believe in you. Get to work. And then, I think this is when he makes the joke about like, I need help paying off this house.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's said in a very supportive way. It's said in a way that's like, I believe you're going to be making money soon. And that it will be no skin off your back to help me pay off this house.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? As opposed to like, yeah. So I don't need to pick this up yet. I don't know why I picked that up. So now we cut to nighttime. And the captions say banging in the distance.
Because I
didn't hear anything. Banging in the distance. And it sounds like a very steady closed fist on a wall sound.
Okay.
And it wakes up Malik. And he's looking around the house for the sound. Doesn't turn on a light. Walking very slowly. And he can't find it. This is also where we see a layout. It appears that there are 2 bedrooms on either side of the second floor. But the hallway connecting their 2 bedrooms, Malik and Aaron and Kayla, is an open hallway where you can look down over the living room.
Okay.
Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. So he's looking around, can't find it. Kind of puts his ear up to Kayla's room and opens the door. She's asleep, not in there. Walking slowly through the terrifying house, comes to a window. It's a branch beating against the house.
Okay.
So Malik is kind of like, I'm an idiot. Like, just kind of like annoyed that it woke him up. So now we cut to the next day, and Malik is sawing the branch off so it doesn't hit the window anymore.
Nice.
And we cut to a knock on the door.
Hello?
Aaron answers. And it's a neighbor with a big, ugly plant. And it looks like a cactus, but with like a closed bulb at the end.
Okay.
It was a weird housewarming gift because I was just like, this is a very specific aesthetic, and you're taking a chance here.
I don't like
strange.
when people try to decorate my house for me. I'm not going to lie.
100. And this plant is it's a polarizing plant in terms of a decorating aesthetic.
Yeah.
And it's large. So Aaron answers the door and she's like, oh, I just wanted to come by and introduce myself. I thought you guys might be home because I saw your gardener outside. Because Malik is a person of color. Aaron is a middle-aged white dude.
Okay.
And Aaron says, oh, no, that's not my gardener. That is my partner, Malik. Malik comes up and like puts his arms around Aaron. And she's like, we've never had. This is very exciting.
Oh, man.
In our neighborhood. And Malik just kind of has this like knowing smirk on his face where he's just like, I fucking get you, bitch. She's very nice. But you get it. You see her. You see who Tiffany is.
Yeah.
And so she hands them the flower. And she's like, it might look weird now, but when it blooms, it's extravagant. Did you have a question?
No, this is just so complicated. It's just so much.
Buckle up, buttercup. So, and that was also the thing. So she's like, we don't have, she said something along the lines of like people like you, but it wasn't that pointed, but it was like clear. And Malik just goes, oh, no, maybe they're in hiding. And Aaron just kind of like awkward laughs. And you know, they're like, thank you, and close the door. So cut to Kayla. And she's printing something from one of those loud fucking printers that was like, I
know it so well. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mal comes in and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm getting a job so I don't have to stay in this fucking house stuck with you all day. And he's like, I thought you could be my assistant. And she's like, how are you going to pay me? Dad's money?
Ooh.
But it's, yeah. But again, it's cute.
Yeah.
And but Malik does say, he's like, I have my own money. And she's like, okay, well, I'm leaving. She's like, hope I don't end up on a milk carton. Bye. And then Malik is like, your dad and I won't miss you if you do. And then he like rolls his eyes. And it's like jokey, but not jokey. Like he's the crack about money was pointy.
Yeah, like got him a little bit.
Yeah. So now we cut to Kayla riding her bike into town, and she rides right on past a straight up thirst trap.
Oh, hello.
And he was set like a trap. I mean, he was set like a speeding trap because he was literally like pulled over on the side of the road with a cool red car, smoking a cigarette in a leather jacket with sort of like casual, messy, but purposely messy hair. And I was just like, you know what you're doing, sir.
Into it. Burn a heart in my ankle, sir.
Yeah, burn a heart in my ankle. And Kayla was like, where's your brand? Because my ankle is bare and unburned. She was into it.
Let's go to the tracks.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Mal, and he's listening to old fuddy-duddy white guy on the tape. And we hear the old fuddy-duddy white guy start talking about the importance of a traditional family.
Sure.
Unit. So at this point, Mal turns it up and he just has a look of like, A, here we fucking go, and B, pain. Cut to Mal running in the new neighborhood. And you know exactly what he runs past. He runs past a church. He runs past a bunch of American flags. He runs past a bunch of people that just blatantly stare at him as he runs by. And now we cut to him coming home. So he walks in the door and he's like, Aaron? Aaron's not home. Walks into the main living area and he stops dead in his tracks. And the camera pans around. The F word. I won't say it. Not the one we say all the time. The other one is scrawled across his wall. And they did it in a really tasteful way because obviously that word is rightfully extremely triggering for some people. So the way that they filmed it, it was really impressive because it's Malik's back, but his body is perfectly blocking the two G's.
Oh.
So you know exactly what word it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has a flashback to the night in the car with his young boyfriend. Question number 1, Kim.
Yes. Yes.
I just used it to do Dead or Alive. I feel like I'm like absorbing pens into my body somehow.
I always do that.
So question number 1, what do you do and what does Malik do at this point? You have the F word scrawled across your wall inside your house.
Oh, wait, it's inside?
He walked into the house and it is inside his house.
Oh, I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to call Aaron. I'm going to take a picture of it and discuss with Aaron what we should do.
Okay. What does Malik do? And we don't know Malik.
I know. I don't know him well enough. I have a couple options floating in my brain. Mm-hmm. So either similar to what I did, or just clean it up and don't say anything, or like call the police or something like that. Let's go with call the police.
1 point for you. Tell Aaron, do that. Malik gets a bucket of paint and he paints it over. And Aaron comes home and says, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know we were painting today." And Malik says, "I thought I could use a fresh coat."
I just feel like if that's it's not a great idea in general to do that. Like, but like if it's on your garage or something like that, like outside.
Yeah.
But like someone was inside your home. That is really needs to be discussed.
Yeah. So that's the first thing he does. We'll get to the second thing in a little bit. So Kayla, as he's painting, is laying on the couch and Aaron goes over and he's like, "Hi." And she like doesn't hear him. So he like goes over and takes her headphones off and is like, "Hello." And she's like, "Dad." And she's just like being a teenager. And Malik is like, "Tell your dad what you did today." And he's like, "What did you do?" She's like, "I got a job as a hostess." And he's like, "Oh my God, we have to celebrate." And so he opens up this like CD case that's like Rainbow Hits or something. No, Rainbow 80s Hits or something like that. It's 80s Hits.
Yeah.
And he like puts the CD in, takes her headphones off, and he starts dad dancing. And it's like so cute. And he like makes Kayla get up, and then like Malik jumps over the railing and he starts dancing too. And it's super cute. So that's all happening, and the camera pans out and we see them through the window, and we see that old trash can man is standing in the driveway watching them.
Hate old trash can man.
Old
Oscar.
Yeah.
I just got very emotional about what great dads
I saw that. They're really
sweet.
Super sweet. Yeah. So Aaron especially just is like such a kind father.
Love that. And not something I've ever experienced.
Yeah. And just like even like when you're like super annoyed, like she's so annoyed at him, but she's just like, "Ugh, Dad, it's sweet."
Just like, like so much love and sweet. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So old trash can man staring at them through the window. Cut to Mal writing in his computer, and he is clearly like, he doesn't want to be writing for this dude.
Sure.
Obviously, so every word is like a slog,
Yeah.
And so he kind of like sits back and rolls his shoulders, and then he looks over at his bulletin board. The picture of him and Aaron in drag is gone.
Oh, my fuckity fuck balls.
Question number 2. What do you do, and what does Mal do?
I'm going to tell Aaron. Now someone has been in our home. They've stolen something from us. God knows what else. Mm-hmm. Like, what the actual fuck balls? We need to discuss this.
Yep.
What does he do? I'm going to stick with he does nothing again. Or like puts a blanket over it still.
1 point for you again. Yes, communication, please. Mal still does not communicate to Aaron. He just has a security system installed without telling Aaron. Aaron's
but
at
like
work.
not like why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's weird. Mal definitely has issues, like understandably. He's clearly been through trauma, and he's a young gay man, married, raising a daughter in 1995. Like, I get it, but like there's some communication issues. Cut to security system being installed. Now we cut to Malik in the garage, and he's on the phone in the garage. Like, there's a phone in the garage, and he's talking to an old friend named Liam. And he's clearly talking to Liam about everything that's happened, about the F word in their house, about the picture being stolen, about the security system being installed. And Liam on the other end is like, you're too paranoid. Like, things are different. And Malik is like, things are not different. Like, things are exactly the fucking same as they were 10 years ago. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Shit is bad. And Liam is like, it's not how it was back then. And he's like, have you told Aaron that you had this system installed? And Malik is like, no, not yet. And then we see the garage door start to open, like the automatic garage door. And Malik is like, okay, I got to go, and hangs up really fast. It's Aaron. Hello. He comes in with his little like briefcase, and he's just like so tired from work. And he's like, what are you doing out here? And he's like, oh, just, unpacking some stuff. And Malik goes over and like gives him a kiss. And he's like, how was your day today? And he's like, I'm just so tired. And he's like, can you just hurry up and finish this book so I can retire? And they just like have cute little banter. So now we cut to a neighborhood barbecue, or like fire pit, neighborhood fire pit. There's definitely like a fire that everyone's standing around with red Solo cups kind of thing.
Okay.
Neighborhood get together, and we meet Tiffany, plant lady.
Right.
And her husband, Marshall. And they're very polite. Aaron and Malik introduce themselves, and they're like, just welcome to the neighborhood. Really sweet. And Marshall's like, it looks like you and I have something in common, Malik. And Malik's like, what? And Marshall is like, well, we both work from home while our better halves are out in the world working or whatever. And Malik is just like, yeah, cool. And as he's talking, he looks across the fire and he sees old trash can man just staring at him.
Old trash can man.
Old trash can man just staring at him. And he kind of like comes back into the conversation. Like, he like tuned out for a second, comes back in. And Marshall's like, so what do you do, Malik? And he's like, oh, I'm ghostwriting. And old trash can man just staring at him. And then they toast. Mal is really uneasy with the entirety of the situation, not just old trash can man, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Untrusting is the word. And Aaron is chill as fuck. Like, he's just like, this is great. So now we cut to Malik waking up again in the middle of the night. He hears something again. So he's walking around his creepy house, and he hears more banging. This time, he has a bat in hand. And as he's walking around, he sees man run across the window outside of his house, and the alarm starts blaring. Question 3. What do you do, and what does Malik do?
So outside the house, not inside the house. He saw someone.
Outside the house, but like the silhouette of somebody running past their window.
Okay.
And the alarm is like, blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna have the alarm people come, security people come, for sure. And I think he's gonna run to the outside, run to like toward, I don't know, run downstairs, maybe to the window, maybe to outside, maybe kind of like trying to see who it is.
1 point for Malik, no points for you, and you'll learn why in a second. You gained some information by doing what Malik did. Though your response was completely logical, we happen to know that Malik's response got us some information.
Okay.
I always struggle with those questions because I'm like, that's a ridiculous thing to do, but you're lucky that it ended you didn't.
It's always tough when like whatever you're doing, that's
It's
what
dangerous.
that's what I was saying. No, but just like your answer for stuff, like that's what I was trying to say about Saw, where it was like, I wasn't saying whether he died or not. It was more just like, whatever you're doing in this moment doesn't immediately kill you, but it also doesn't do anything for you either. So like, is that a point or not? I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like tough to score those moments where it's just like, yeah, it like you didn't immediately die.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah. So this one definitely, like, for sure, 100% gets you some information. So I was at least able to say that. So he runs out. It's old trash can man.
mm-hmm.
And he's chasing after him Malik is chasing after him with a bat. Old trash can man falls to the ground and he's like, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Where am I?
Oh no.
And he's like looking up at Malik and it like broke my heart. So now old trash can man is old sad trash can man.
Oh no. There's too much sadness in this.
Yeah. And so he's like holding some old sad trash can man is holding something in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, take it. Please take it. Please take it. And Aaron just kind of like grabs the piece of paper and like holds it in his fist, doesn't look at it right away. And at this point, Aaron comes out and he's like, what the fuck? Because also like the alarm is blaring.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, we have an alarm? Like it's,
so he like still didn't tell him? He didn't even know?
Still didn't tell him.
Goodness.
No. And at that point, the old man like gets up and he's like, where am I? Time doesn't mean the same thing. I'm so confused.
Oh no.
And he walks off.
I can't.
Oh my God. Like, Kim, can we please, you know where I realize I want to live when we're old ladies? In one of those retirement communities where they've turned it into a enclosed town.
Yeah.
It's a little,
and
so you can like,
and it'll be like of the 90s or early 2000s or something where we just like live happily in olden times together.
Yes. And you just take your little cart to the grocery store. I'm heading down the street to the grocery store, but the street is a hallway and I'm old. Yeah. And it's adorable and I love it.
Oh no.
Eric tells me all the time that he's going to die before me. And I'm like, well, thank God I have Kim because I'm moving in.
Oh yeah. I'm living to triple digits, bitch. So
yeah, me too.
Come on over.
I'm living to triple digits as well. So walks off confused. So now we cut to Aaron yelling at Malik, being like, you fucking installed a security system and didn't tell me. He's like, how much money was this? And Malik is like, $1,000. And he's like, fuck. Like, Aaron is pissed.
yeah.
I mean, one, because he didn't fucking tell. I get the sense that Aaron would have complied. Like, he's a reasonable person.
Right,
like, but
right.
because you did it all secretly now you
like,
fucking made it
spent
weird.
$1,000 on it's
Yeah. And like, not to like throw salt in the wound, Malik, but like of Aaron's money.
Yeah.
So like, if we're gonna come down to brass tacks, that's where we are.
So old sad trash can man just like wandered away.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't.
Yeah,
like,
but he's like across the street. So like he wandered away across the street.
to like
but
his
yes,
home. I'm
his
hoping.
home.
Okay, good.
His home.
I was
Yes.
like, we didn't like help him get there or anything.
By that point, like it seemed like there were people or were going to be people in the neighborhood that like heard the alarm going off. So like we can assume he got back to his house safely. And it's a very small town. Very small. So Aaron is super pissed and he's like, we're not in Chicago anymore, Malik. Like, people don't even lock their doors in the suburbs. And he literally like undoes the deadbolt and walks away, which I'm like, you should still lock your door, but okay.
Yeah.
So Aaron leaves and Mal then looks at the piece of paper that old sad trash can man gave him and it's blank. There's nothing on it.
Okay.
Now we cut to Mal and he's waking up with a really bad headache, like the kind of headache where it's like, my brain's going to explode. So he goes into the bathroom and he takes meds real quick and it appears to like quell the headache. And this was in the middle of the night. So now we cut to Malik trying to see the next day, like or maybe it's at night, like he's up and Aaron is still asleep, whatever. But he's like trying to see if there's like anything on the paper. So like he holds it up to light. He like does like a pencil rubbing, and nothing. He doesn't see anything. And then I wrote, I want to write a horror movie where everyone communicates. Like, just what could happen if we took away the trope of like people don't communicate? Like, what if everyone just communicated healthfully, but it was still a horror movie? What is that? What would that look like?
Everyone lives. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So now we cut to Aaron, and he's coming home again. So it's the next day.
What? It's just Michael Myers being like, I mean, like, here's how I feel about, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we cut to Aaron coming home again the next day, and Mal is in the kitchen, just kind of like looking sullen. And Aaron is annoyed because he's like, hey, and Mal doesn't really say anything. So Aaron is like, nice to see you too. And he's like, did you call the alarm company? And Mal's like, for what? And he's like, for a refund. And Mal is like, no, not yet. And Aaron just kind of storms away.
Why doesn't he just tell him about what happened for the reason that we have the fucking alarm?
Fucking say someone broke into our house and painted the F word on our fucking wall, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a valid reason.
Yeah. So
just tell him. I don't understand.
I get the sense from Malik that there is such a deep-seated lack of trust that, like, it's not even logical anymore at this point. Does that make sense?
Trust, lack of trust to like the world or to Aaron or
anyone, himself, literally anyone. Like, I just get the sense of like a very like not trusting or keeping secrets, hiding is like his default. And so he just kind of does it across the board is sort of the vibe I'm getting from Malik.
Got it.
So now we cut to Kayla in her room with Thirst Trap.
With Thirst Trap! Kayla! My girl!
Thirst Trap. And they're playing Mario Kart.
Yes, they are.
And Thirst Trap asks about her two dads. And she kind of gets defensive and is like, oh, here we go. And he's like, no, it's cool. Like, I'm just asking, like, where's your mom? Like, I'm just curious. And she's like, probably off partying in Costa Rica with her new family.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And then Kayla kind of wants to like change the subject. And so she like schools him and she's like, watch this. And then she just like schools him in Mario Kart. And it's cute.
Love it.
Such a fucking power move to like school someone in Mario Kart. I mean, I wouldn't know from experience, but it seems like it would be powerful.
I'm trying to think about things that it does feel that way. There's like certain things when you can be like a boy in it that's like kind of a more boyish thing.
Yeah.
I think I could do that with like go-karts a lot.
Yeah. The only thing I could ever beat some humans in ever was like swimming, but that was obviously like not with any boys that I had a crush on my swim team. That certainly didn't happen. Yeah. So it had to be
how
like,
often are you like going on a swim date with someone?
Exactly. So like
not a lot of opportunities.
Much like your superpower of telling the future 1 second into the future, my superpower of being able to beat some people sometimes in a swim off didn't come in handy too often.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like car driving things and car driving video games too are things that I could beat boys in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably not anymore, but back in the day.
Once again, Kim was way cooler than me.
Is that a lot of brothers?
So now we cut to Mal getting water at the kitchen sink. And he looks out the window across the way to old sad trash can man's house. And he looks in the window and he sees a bunch of neighbors in there. And they're all in a big circle. And they're doing some sort of chanty dance sway.
What?
In a circle at old sad trash can man's house. And Malik is just like,
what have we got ourselves into?
yeah. And Malik says the same thing. And he's just like, what the fuck now? And then he sees Marshall just kind of walk into the room. Then we see that a teen boy, not Thirst Trap, kind of leaves the circle and is just like staring out the window, pained or entranced. It's unclear because sometimes I can kind of only see silhouettes of what's happening. But he walks away from the circle and he's staring straight out to where Malik's house is. Like they could stare into each other's windows.
Yeah.
And so Mal picks up Kayla's Polaroid camera and he turns the light off first. And then he holds the camera up and he snaps a picture.
Okay.
The flash goes off.
Right.
And it kind of, they see it. And so at that point, Mal kind of like ducks behind a curtain, but we see the boy and Marshall notice the flash. And so they close the curtains. And Mal is like freaking out.
Did we just move into a cult small town?
We may have. Malik is not. Malik is concerned. He's not feeling this.
Cult Town, USA.
Cult Town, USA. Population. This many people. I lost steam at the end there. They can't all be winners. So now we cut to the next day. Outside Old Sad Trash Can Man's house. There's an ambulance out front.
Old Sad Trash Can Man.
And there's a body being wheeled out on a stretcher. And Malik is like standing there like as if he had been on his jog. And then Aaron comes up and is like, oh no. And Malik is like, turns to Aaron. He's like, I think I saw something over there. Tiffany walks up right then. So I'm like, Malik, you were about to communicate.
Oh
Tiffany,
God.
get out of here. Tiffany. So Tiffany comes up with Marshall. And they're just like, it's so tragic, isn't it? And Marshall kind of looks directly at Malik and is like, yeah, his grandson called a bunch of us over last night to say our final goodbyes. He hadn't been doing well for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And Tiffany is like, it's so sad for his grandson. They were so close. And then we kind of like the camera pans over and we see the grandson who was the one that was standing at the window.
Okay.
And he's crying and he looks over at Malik. So now we cut to Mal inside his house again, looking out his window, and he's holding the paper in his hand, which he still can't read. Question number 4. Where do you go and where does Malik go?
So he is inside his house?
He's inside.
Is it's like later?
Daytime. It's later in the day. Everyone is cleared out of the driveways and the streets and all that kind of stuff. Aaron is at work.
I think he goes to Old Sad Trash Can Man's house, and I do the same hand in hand. Got to investigate what's going on over there.
Double ding. Okay, so hand in hand, you guys are heading over to Old Sad Trash Can Man's house.
Yes.
Cut to Malik going into Old Sad Trash Can Man's house.
Okay.
And I wrote, good thing no one locks their doors in the suburbs because he just walks right on in.
Hello.
He's looking around and he comes to a bookshelf and he sees a picture of Old Sad Trash Can Man smiling with 3 young girls, but like two women, and then a third person that I'm unclear who it is, but it's important to say that he's in the picture with these 2 women that we see.
And this is a picture of him as an old trash can man or a young him?
Like 10 years ago. Like he's still old, but like not,
and
you know,
2
like 10 years ago.
women.
who like it looks like a fatherly situation, like it looks like his daughters or something like that. And so Malik picks it up and he's looking at it, and we hear a sound of someone coming in the door. Malik drops the picture because he gets scared and it breaks all over the floor. We cut to the door and it's grandson walking in the door. And he sees the pic on the floor. No Malik. So Malik must have become invisible, scooted out, something.
That's
Suspend our disbelief.
Wonderful superpower to have.
100.
So much better than mine.
So much better than mine. So I just swam away real fast.
In the air.
And Kim went, I think the grandson is about to come in the... Yep, there he is.
By the time the sentence gets out of my mouth, he's there.
Yeah.
Got the jump on him. See?
Yeah. So that's it. That's it for that scene, is the grandson seeing the picture broken on the ground. So now we cut to Thirst Trap again. Driving up alongside Kayla, who's walking to work. And he asks if she needs a lift. And she's like, what, are you stalking me or something? And he's like, Colin's sick. And she like rolls her eyes, but then she does. And I'm like, bitch, isn't this like your first day? Like you gotta, like you gotta show up to work.
She'll be fine.
Yeah. So now we cut to them at the bridge that we saw from the beginning, like the bridge into town. And they're getting to know each other. And she asks him if he ever thinks of leaving this place. And he's like, I mean, why would I? Like, all I have ever known is here. My family is here. My friends are here. Why? And he's like, how about you? And she's like, well, I have a boyfriend back home. Or at least I think I do. And he's just like, he kind of like walks away from the car a little bit and turns around to face her, as opposed to them both sort of being next to each other on the hood of the car.
Right.
And he's like, you should probably figure that out. But like in his thirst trappy way.
Okay.
And I was like, hi, auga. And so now he's like kind of turned around to face her. But then he looks, and there's someone standing at the other end of the bridge. And it appears to be someone in slacks, a white button-up shirt, and black suspenders, and then a head, but like something covering his face. It's pretty far away, so like we can't really tell, but he's just standing in the center of the bridge, just staring at them.
Okay.
On the other end. And Tyler is his name. Tyler is Thirst Trap's name. And he's like, do you see that? And he like looks really scared. So Kayla turns around and she's like, we should get out of here. And as they start getting into their car, the figure just starts walking towards them super fast.
Okay.
It was real scary. I wrote super scary shot. And they get in their car and like drive away. Well, great. We did it.
Goodbye.
Yay. Yeah. So now we cut to Mal and Aaron, and they're up in their room and they're getting ready to go to Tiffany and Marshall's house. And Mal is being like a baby about it because he just like doesn't want to go because they creep him out.
Sure.
Yeah. And Aaron is like, you're ridiculous. And Aaron is like, I just don't get like what your problem is with them. And Mal is like, what's the word for an Uncle Tom but for gay people? Like kind of referring to Marshall. So he suspects that there's a closet situation happening.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now we cut to them having a drink at Tiffany and Marshall's house in their living room. And Tiffany and Marshall are doing that thing. Bless their souls. Everybody should keep trying to learn and do better. But they definitely sound like privileged white people trying to sound woke. Like, they're stepping into some things, but they're just kind of like overly sincere about it, and sort of like they're doing their best to sound woke is all I'll say.
Right.
And so like they're just saying, you know, Marshall is like, I just don't understand, you know, why people are so bigoted or whatever. And Tiffany's like, yeah, don't they get that love is love is love? And Mal is like, yeah, I don't think most people think like you do. So like kind of like, I appreciate it, but like I'm not overreacting. Most people don't feel the way that you guys claim to feel.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And Marshall is like, I just hate how false stereotypes can shape public opinion. And I was like, me too, Marshall. I also hate that.
How false stereotypes can shape public opinion.
Yeah. And then I was like, good thing since 1995, we've just like never experienced that ever again. Like, problem solved. Good thing.
Did I tell you that? I finally, so everyone knows I love the library.
Yeah.
And so I ordered a bunch of audiobooks, but like they had like a holds for years on them in a good way. But I finally like got one. So it's stamped, which is like, I didn't realize it was like a remix version of like, that's what they call it, of like stamped from the beginning. And I think it's like, I remember actually hearing an interview with one of the writers on The Daily Show. And so I think like they made this version like kind of more specifically for younger people.
Okay.
To kind of like get the information. I'm not super familiar
with Stamped. If you want to say like.
Well, I'm only like a chapter or two in, but like that's one thing they talk about where they're like, I'm not going to be able to say it the way that they say it so wonderfully, but basically saying that they literally talk about the first racist. Like that's how far back we go. Like, and they like discuss, and it's like, because it's someone who like put it down in a book pretty much. They're like, things were already happening, but like, basically they say that like policies are what start something. And then because a rich person wants to keep doing what they're doing, which is have slaves. And this is like in Europe, but continued on and is what happened in America too, where it's like the policies were created because people want to keep making money, basically. Oh, yeah. And then they create a story as to why it's either a good thing or why those people need it, basically. Like in America, it was like created that it was like, oh, like we're bringing people from Africa religion and things like that. So like we're
saving them from their barbaric tribal existences.
Yeah. Things like that. And so it starts with the policy, which then creates the story, which then the people underneath the people in charge start to believe, and that builds that builds the hatred.
Yep. Well, that's also how religion was created. Like I'll speak specifically for the Catholic Church. That's how that was created. That a lot of like the Bible that we read is written by men, and the men that were in power were the papacy or the clergy. And so they wrote the Bible to mirror what they needed people with the rules that they needed people to be following.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's
very interesting.
Yeah.
And it would be really interesting for people with very strong beliefs in those directions to understand how things started and then maybe reevaluate some thoughts and feelings on things.
Yeah, we joked about this, but like I think about it every day. We have Kim and I have a friend, I won't say her name, whose father struggles with being a dick, and he's racist and a Trump supporter and sucks. And she thought, what if I just sent him the book White Fragility or or How to Not Be Racist or one of those books, like
Yeah.
anonymously, and it just showed up, like, would he read it?
Right.
And like the consensus was like, no, he probably wouldn't read it.
Yeah.
Because just like we talked about in the beginning, our brains are built to survive, not to be happy. And one of the things we think we need to, like, it's hard to change your opinion. It's uncomfortable to change your opinion.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to just find things that reiterate
support
your opinion.
your opinion, because then you feel safe staying where you are. Like your body feels safe. Like your lizard brain is just like, nope, we just need to keep going down this path because that's the best way, because this is safety. Yeah. That's why, like, when you start doing the work, it's like fucking hard.
It sucks. It fucking sucks.
Because your body is fighting you the entire time. Your body's like, alert, not safe, not safe. And you're like, body, we got this.
So I guess what I'm saying,
are empowered, and we're setting some fucking boundaries, and we're changing our beliefs.
Yeah. So what's our podcast? What am I talking about? What is happening?
Because Marshall said the thingy thing.
Yes. Okay. So I want to be clear. What we're getting from Tiffany and Marshall, it feels like a genuine desire to connect.
Right. Okay.
I get why Malik is uncomfortable, and there is a tension, but there's not anything overtly aggressive or passive aggressive about what Tiffany and Marshall are saying right now.
Like it feels genuine.
Yes. Okay. It feels naive. It feels privileged, but genuine.
Right. Yeah.
So talking on the couch, then someone comes in the door. It's Thirst Trap. Thirst Trap is their son.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. It's getting juicy. So they're like, oh, hi, Tyler. And Tiffany is like, there's dinner in the fridge for you or whatever. And Marshall's like, did you have fun hanging out with your new friend? And Tyler is like, I did. But like doesn't say who it is and just goes upstairs.
Do any of the parents know that the
it doesn't appear that way.
Okay.
It doesn't appear that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. If anyone does know, they're not showing it.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So now we cut to Mal, and he's like in a hallway of the house, and he sort of says over his shoulder, did you say the second door or the third door on the left? But then like he doesn't get an answer. So he goes into these two French doors that like are glass panes. So it's like you can see it's not a bathroom in there. Clearly, but he goes in. And I was like, you knew that wasn't the bathroom. Okay. You knew it was probably the third door on the left, not the second. But sure. So he walks in and he's looking around, and it looks like a study. You know, it's got wall-to-wall bookshelf, and he walks over to the bookshelf, and it's all these beautiful leather-bound books, and then he kind of zeroes in on one book that doesn't have a title. It just has a spiral on the spine. That's it.
That's the title of this movie.
It is. And then he looks over and he sees this old portrait, and it almost looks like it's sitting on an altar. Okay. And it looks like a portrait from like the 1700s.
Okay.
Okay. And Malika's looking at it.
Of a man?
Of a man. Okay. Malika's looking at it. And then we hear, I see you found Richard. Malika's like, oh, and it's Marshall. And he's like, it was the third door on the left. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry. And he's like, it's okay. It's like, that's my great something or other. And Malik is like, I can see the family resemblance. He looks like you. And he's like, I have a very strong bloodline. And he said that's from 1792. He fought for the Bluecoats, which is Civil War. So Bluecoats were the North. Mm-hmm. And I think, or it's 1792, or it's the Revolutionary War and it was not the Redcoats. It was the American Revolution. I'm not sure.
Well,
regardless.
Yeah, because 1776.
And we
is
didn't
when we signed the
have
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. And we didn't have the Civil War until fucking 18 million years later. So
basically, like
it was the American Revolution. So he's like, yeah, I got into, tracing my lineage and got super into it. And this is my great something or other Richard. And Marshall is like, let me walk you out. Let me show where the bathroom is. And Malik is like, I got it. And so like Malik walks out and we just kind of see like Marshall kind of scan the room. Okay. And it kind of pans back to the portrait. And it definitely looks like Marshall's like brother. Like the bloodline is strong with this one kind of thing. So now we cut to the clock saying 1:10 a.m. And Mal is up typing and listening to Old Bigot Man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Talking about how gay people are suffering inside.
Oh, fuck, man. That's really hard.
And as he's listening, Malik feels headlights shining through his window.
Mm-hmm.
And so he turns and he like can't see. They're so bright.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has a flashback to the car scene again. And this time we kind of see a little bit further into the flashback and we see a bunch of dudes get out of their car and they start bashing in the windows of Malik's car.
Yeah.
And then we flash back to present time and Malik is just like and like sobbing. So next day we cut to Kayla in the living room and she's doing a straight up aerobics video. Like neon spandex aerobics video, leg warmers, all that kind of shit. And I'm here for it. And
I was gonna say fucking Jane Austen, right?
Jane Austen. Yep, Jane Austen's
huge
aerobics
in the aerobics video world. Huge.
Hi, this is Jane Austen with my aerobicize video. I don't know if that's what Jane Austen sounds like, but in my head it does. That's amazing.
I'll think of there's someone with one of those names.
Jane Fonda.
And I think someone Austen. Maybe not. Jane Fonda, though. We'll go there.
Okay, Jane Fonda.
I'll Google it.
No, I really like Jane Austen's aerobicize tape. I'm going to see if I can find it on eBay.
I bet it's good.
Okay. And so Malik walks in and he's like, I thought your ass got a job. And she's like, it's part-time. And at this point, she kind of like Malik leaves and she turns around and she's looking out the window and like the back of her house just opens. Her backyard is just like acres and acres and acres of nothing, basically. And she turns around and she sees Thirst Trap outside with another girl.
Thirst Trap?
Uh-huh. And he like gives her his jacket and the girl kisses him. And Thirst Trap looks up at the window and sees Kayla in there and Kayla just like closes the curtains.
Oh.
So now we cut to the grandson at Malik's door.
Okay.
Malik answers it, and the grandson has clearly been sobbing, and he says, I need to talk to you about my grandpa.
Okay.
So now we cut to them both sitting on the couch, and the grandson apologizes for his grandfather's mind, basically. And then the grandson says, did he say anything to you or give you anything that night? Question 5. What does Malik do and what do you do?
Oh, Malik! Who do I trust? Who do I trust? Can I trust anyone? But I need to know. I haven't found out anything on my own. I've tried really hard. So I think I'm going to say, yeah, he gave me this piece of paper. Do you know what it means? And he said whatever the fuck he said. God damn it, Malik. What do you do? What do you do?
Malik.
Not often a sharer of information.
No.
But you've been trying real hard to figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he does the same hand in hand.
Tell him.
He doesn't. God damn, Malik.
Malik says, nope. And at this point, the camera is just on Mal's face. Okay. So if you can picture, my head is kind of turned to the side for people that aren't on our Patreon and seeing this, kind of turned to the side facing the grandson who I'm talking to.
Yes.
The camera stays on me as I sort of turn my head to face forward and say no. And then grandson is right here.
Oh.
On the other side of me.
What?
Malik says the same thing. And he's like, what the fuck? As if time jumped for him.
Okay.
Yeah. So at this point, the grandson is crying, full-blown crying now. And he's like, can you believe they called it suicide? Saying he took all of his meds at once. And the grandson then sort of like hugs Malik and is just like sobbing in his shoulder. And Malik is hugging him back. And then we sort of see that the grandson's hands start to get very sexual rather than I need comfort. And Malik is just kind of like, like it's happening. And Malik is like, what the fuck? Hi, guys. Aaron walks in.
Oh, no.
And Aaron's like, what was that? Did you just, I didn't even know you had anything in your hand that just dropped. What was it?
A crystal.
A crystal. Kim dropped a crystal into the microphone. So if you heard a thump in your headphones, it's Kim's crystal.
I've been holding it the whole time. I liked it. I got it in Ojai.
Yeah.
Oh, which I told on our last episode, but not this episode. So I went to Ojai and I got crystals.
Yeah. Long story short, she got some crystals to drop into the microphone.
It actually fell into the screen and then like laid there like against the edge. That's why I was like,
that's great.
Anyway, continue. Pardon me. Don't mind me.
Pardon me. So it's super awkward. And Aaron is like, do you want to introduce me to your friend? And I think the grandson says his name. It's inconsequential, but he's just like, you're Aaron, right? And he's like, yeah. And it's just like super awkward. And he's like, well, I'm going to go.
Is the grandson like an adult age? Like how old is he?
I would say he's of age. Why don't we say that?
Okay.
He's a young man, but I don't think it would be illegal for him and Malik to fuck. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, they could legally fuck each other, but it might be still a little weird.
Got it.
Yeah. Because also, I'm not entirely clear exactly how old Malik is either. I'm going to say Malik is in his 30s.
Okay.
And then maybe Aaron is maybe early 50s, maybe.
Okay.
I think that might be what we're dealing with. Okay, so super awkward. Grandson walks past Aaron. Aaron kind of like follows him out with his head and then just kind of turns back to Malik like, kind of gives him a smirk. So now we cut to Malik in the bathroom of the master bathroom because we hear Aaron talking to him from the bed. And Malik is in the mirror and he's like looking at a bruise on his chest. But I don't know where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik doesn't appear to know where it came from.
Interesting. I mean, happens to me all the time, to be honest, but sure.
Correct.
It's weird.
But yeah, this was definitely in a weird spot.
Right.
And so Aaron is in bed and he's like, I mean, you obviously like him. And he's like, we haven't done that in a long time. And he's like, we could invite him. And Malik just kind of crawls into bed and he's like, I only want you. And they kiss. And then we hear a blood-curdling scream.
Oh, no.
They get up, run to Kayla's room. She is laying in bed, screaming, covered in blood.
What?
And I'm talking Carrie at the prom covered in blood.
Okay.
And they're just like, what the fuck? And Kayla clearly woke up covered in blood. So Kayla's like, your guess is as good as mine. Like, she's totally confused. And like Aaron goes over and is like trying to like see if she's hurt somewhere.
Yeah. Where is the blood coming from?
Yeah. And she's just like screaming. And Malik is just standing in the doorway. And then he looks up. There is a red circle on the ceiling as if something is leaking through the ceiling.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we cut to Malik going up into the attic, and it's the scary kind of attic, not a rich person's attic, like where it's like you got to climb up the ladder, and then it's basically like the rafters up there.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you drop your crystal again?
I guess I'll put it down. I'm sorry. I just
Kim, you know what?
Good.
Honestly, better than your drinks, dropping your drinks all over the place. So I'll take it. Crystal drops over drink drops is what I'll say.
I would put it in my sports bra, but it doesn't go in there's no space in my bikini for it. It'll fall right through. So
I'm so sorry. I always have space in my bra because it's certainly not being taken up by boobs. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, there's like no material.
Right.
Bloop. I guess I'll put it there.
Yeah.
Just put it in my boob.
So we cut to Malik crawling up into the attic. And as soon as he opens the hatch, you can tell he smells something horrible. So he shines his flashlight around. And luckily it was like dark. So like we only got the suggestion of what it was. But it looked like several mutilated raccoons.
Oh, gosh.
Directly above Kayla's room.
Oh, gosh.
So we cut to Mal throwing.
Upsetting.
Yeah. So we cut to Mal throwing them away in the trash. And then we cut to the same night, Malik talking to Aaron in the hallway. And Malik is finally like, someone did that. And Aaron is like, why would anyone do that? And he's like, they were probably living up there, ate some poison and died. And I'm like, motherfucker, you eat poison, you don't lose your skin
out.
Yeah. Like it's not, I mean, I guess what he's saying, like the decomp of it, but I'm like, no, these were like, they look freshly killed and they looked mutilated. They didn't look decomped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was my professional
Thank you.
animal coroner,
of course,
decision.
Roadkill scientist.
Right, roadkill scientist or attic kill scientist. So now we cut to poor Kayla in the shower washing all the blood off.
Can you imagine?
No. No. And it's like in her mouth.
How do you not just like?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just end it all. Just swan dive off the roof. I don't know what to tell you. Like that's just appalling.
Here's what's bananas for those of you who have never been covered in either real blood or fake blood. There is, if you know how to make fake blood, it is a very similar consistency to actual blood. And it is very, very, very fucking sticky. And I can tell you that both times I've been covered in both substances, it doesn't just rinse off in the shower. You have to rub it off.
I can't imagine. It feels, it's giving me the same feelings of my aunt Colt that lived in my shower. Like I couldn't shower because I was like, my shower feels like ants are pouring on me.
Yeah, it feels like the Coachella of ants.
The Coachella of
Yeah.
ants, excuse me. Yes, I forgot.
Yeah, this was the Coachella of blood. It was
Oh
gross.
my God. Just
Yeah.
like, how do you not just like bleach your skin? Like,
Yeah. Do you remember when our friend Peter got into a bar fight and we were all like covered in blood when we took him to the hospital?
Remember he was saving me from some dickheads because I decided to race people in Irish car bombs. Like,
Yeah, that was a different
asshole.
Cut to me taking my own shirt off to staunch the blood and showing up at the hospital topless.
Oh, I didn't remember that part. So
Yep.
we each have our own.
Situation that happened that night. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I do remember is there was so much blood that it smelled like iron.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get off your body.
I do
and
remember
then cut
people
to our
looking at us, even at the hospital, like nurses being like with shock face, scared shock face,
Yeah.
and like concern. And I never understood why until we got home and we were like, oh, this is what we look like. We are covered in blood.
covered in blood. And also what I'm realizing is like we were visibly inconstipated.
Oh, I was racing Irish car bombs, multiple,
Yes.
with a
So
bunch of
we
fucking
looked-
douchebags who tried to break our friend's nose.
A glass over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a weird night. Maybe I'll tell.
I think that was my birthday.
Was your birthday. And also the thing that fucking blows my fucking mind is however many years that was before I met Eric was there that night.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's so fucking weird.
Because he worked. It was at the Viper Room. Yeah.
Yeah. So Kayla's washing the blood off of herself in the shower. And then we cut to the grandson standing outside the house, staring into the window again. Cut to
Kind of like what old sad trash can man was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a very modern house, so it's very angular, squarish, and a lot of walls made of windows.
Mm-hmm.
So like looking into their house is easy to do.
Okay.
So grandson staring into the house. Cut to Malik listening to old bigot shit, and the old bigot says, talking about how gay people are all suffering, and says, and that's why I founded the Ernie Darrelson Clinic. Based on what we said about old dumb bigot white man, what do you think the Ernie Darrelson Clinic is?
Oh, it's to like pray the gay away sort of thing.
Yep, gay conversion therapy. Exactly. So Malik Googles it and sees that that's what it is. So he's like, okay, this is
Cool.
this is officially the biography that I'm writing. Officially.
Yeah, that's horrendous.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So then we cut to a scene of all of them sitting at the dinner table. Malik just looks really distracted and like mentally unwell, underslept, distracted.
Yeah.
And we hear Kayla ask at one point, have you guys seen my Polaroid blanks? Like, I know I had more. And they're both like, no. And we move on.
Someone's secretly taking pictures of their ass. So good.
Yeah. So now we cut to Malik in bed, and he's like having dreams about old sad trash can man and grandson, and him giving him the paper and him staring at him through the fire, just kind of like those racing thoughts before you fall asleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we cut to their living room, and we see that there are several hooded people standing in their living room looking up to the second floor balcony where their bedrooms are.
What?
Yeah.
When are we? It's night.
It is nighttime. Malik is tossing and turning in bed. Aaron is fast asleep.
So it's just
Kayla's
the
asleep.
Middle of the night.
Just the middle of the night.
But
And
only we see that. No one else.
Only
is
we
up
see
there.
that. Only we see that. They're just standing in their living room, perfectly still.
Get the fuck out of my house! What
Yeah.
the fuck? Colt Town, USA is this?
Yeah. Coal Town, USA. So, yeah, we're the only ones who see that. So now next morning, we cut to Malik and Aaron in the shower. And they're in the shower together. And Malik is like, I think I lost my book. And he's like, my hard drive, it just started smoking.
What?
And Aaron is like, did you back it up? And Malik is like, no, the book is gone. Cut to, jump cut, Malik still in the shower. No Aaron. And he's facing the opposite direction and is like, what the fuck? As if he thinks he was just having a conversation with
like
Aaron.
Lost time
again. And he's snapped out of it because Kayla is knocking on the door being like, Malik, what the fuck? You've been in there for an hour. And Malik is like, sorry. And he gets out and he's just kind of like staring at himself in the mirror. And the mirror is all steamed up, but there's like not a creepy handprint, but just like you can make marks in the steam. You know what I mean? It just looks like that. And we see that Malik has an idea. So we cut to him running downstairs and he picks up the piece of paper that the old man gave him and he gets it a little bit wet and a bunch of numbers are revealed.
Wow. Invisible ink.
Yeah. And so we cut to Malik at the library and we realize that there are no slashes or dashes to tell us, but we realize that they're all dates. It's a series of dates. And the last two numbers of every series of numbers ends in a 5 and is 10 years apart. So it's like 75, 85, 95. Okay. And he's researching them and he's going through newspaper microfiche, which I remember doing. And he's going through articles that correspond to some of the dates. And he sees that exactly 10 years ago, there was a murder-suicide of a lesbian couple that had moved into town with a daughter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he sees the picture of the two women, like in the newspaper, and he recognizes them as the two women in Old Sad Trash Can Man's photo in his house.
Old Sad Trash Can Man. I was friends with them.
So we cut to Malik and Aaron in the bedroom. Malik is staring out the window, and Malik turns to Aaron and says, we have to move. And Aaron is super annoyed because Aaron still doesn't fucking know half of what happened.
Dude.
Because you won't fucking tell him, Malik.
You gotta communicate.
God. So Malik finally tells Aaron about the paper that Old Sad Trash Can Man gave him, the murder-suicide, and about Marshall being in his house the night before he died, being in Old Sad Trash Can Man's house the night before he died. And he's like, this gay couple, it was a murder fucking suicide 10 years ago. Like, why would Marshall and Tiffany not tell us about this? And Aaron is like, stop. If you spent any time with them, you would know. They did tell me. They told me all of this. They were very close to them. And it was a really tragic thing that happened for the entire town. Like, it was awful. They were really close. And Malik is just like, what the fuck? And he just walks back to the window. And Aaron is like, people are not out to get you, Malik. And he's like, what happened to you was so tragic. But that isn't what this is. And he's like, I like this town. And he's like, I thought we were past this. And Malik starts crying. And Aaron is like, it's never going to happen again. Close up on the Polaroid camera. Cut to Malik on the phone again in the garage with Liam. He's telling Liam everything. Everything I have told you, he is telling Liam right now. And Liam is like, he's like, I know why you're calling me. And Malik is like, yeah, to like help me. Like, what do I do? And Liam is like, you're calling me for permission. You're calling me for permission to move on. And Malik is like, no, I need your help. And Liam hangs up. And Malik like looks up from the phone after he's hung up, and the garage door is open. So it's like along the ceiling. And he looks up and he sees something on the ceiling, but it's blocked by the garage door.
Uh-huh.
So he puts the garage door down and he sees a giant black spiral painted on the ceiling of his garage.
What?
Question number 6. What do you do? And what does he do?
I think that, okay, A, I'm going to tell Aaron everything. And B, I think him and I both are going to somehow get that spiral book from Marshall's house.
That's 1.5 points. I can't tell you why Malik got a half point yet.
Okay.
But yes, communicate. I almost feel like the questions that are like, what would you do? It's like, communicate. The answer is communicate. So from what we see in that exact moment, he does nothing. We just see him go for a run the next day. Neighbors are staring at him. And then he runs by an old, dilapidated, abandoned house in the town. And he recognizes it from the paper, from the articles about the lesbian murder-suicide as the house where they lived.
Okay.
Runs past it. Cut to 1:10 a.m. again. Remind me, 1:10 a.m. comes up twice, and I want to postmortem if the filmmakers have any significance for 1:10 a.m. because twice we've seen a clock, both times it said 1:10 a.m.
Interesting.
Yeah. Malik is at his computer again, and we see chapter 2 written, but then just a blinking cursor and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of writing chapter 2, we see that he's reading more articles about the lesbian couple.
Mm-hmm.
Question 7 now. Where do you go and where does Malik go?
Like right now at 1:10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it doesn't seem like the best time, but I guess he goes to the house, the house that was theirs. Can I just... I'm going to tell Aaron everything and move away. Be like, here's why we need to move. Please, let's do it.
Double ding. Just leave. Please. Get out.
I don't feel good about it.
Don't fucking Scooby-Doo this mystery. Just leave.
don't feel good about the Scooby-Doo situation.
Yeah. Just get out. So he goes to the fucking house and totally abandoned. Clearly it's one of those things where like a realtor has this one on their list and they're like, so real quick, there may have been a teeny tiny murder suicide.
Yeah.
Which is why the price is so low and it's a steal.
A little bit of a fixer-upper.
Yeah. So no one's lived in it except for the ghosts, obviously. So he goes in and he's flashlighting around and he is looking around the house and he goes upstairs and he sees a hole in the ceiling and he kind of like shines his light up there and it looks like sort of tucked into the wallish part where the hole is It appears to be a cassette tape, like a handmade cassette tape that is hand labeled with something, but we can't really see. Then he hears something downstairs. So he's like, hello? He goes downstairs. Who's there? He's standing in the living room. And he's turning around with his flashlight. Ghost in the corner! And she's like open mouth, dead eye face, like with the sound, holding a stack of cassette tapes. Oh. And then all of a sudden, time jumps. The ghost is gone, and he's holding the tapes.
Okay.
Tapes in his hands.
Okay.
All right.
Whew.
And he's like, what the fuck? Cut to him at home. And he walks in the door, and it appears to be like very early morning now. And he walks in, and his computer, so it's those like big rectangular computers, like before we all had laptops. And it's like just this, what?
A big rectangular computer.
Well, it's not the monitor, it's the computer part. The computer part. The part that makes it be a computer, that part.
Yeah.
So, but it's just the skeleton of it.
Oh.
It's been dismantled.
Okay.
And so Malik is like, Aaron, why is my hard drive removed? Aaron? And he looks out the window. Aaron is just standing outside, facing away from the house, looking out into the distance.
What the fuck is happening?
So Malik walks out, and Aaron just hands him a bunch of Polaroids. And Malik looks at them and is like, this isn't me. I mean, it is me, but this didn't happen. This never happened. And Aaron says, why didn't you tell me? I would have let you. And Aaron is like, I don't want to see you here when I get back. And Malik is sobbing. And he's like, this didn't happen. And he's like, where am I supposed to go? And Aaron just like throws the Polaroids at him and is like, figure it out. And that's when Malik picks up the Polaroids himself. And we see it's pics of him fucking the grandson.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And Malik is just like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh my God. That's fucking terrifying.
So Aaron has left because he's like, I don't want to see you here when I get back.
Yeah.
So Malik is now back in his computer room and he's losing it. Just like, fuck, like just freaking out. And the phone is ringing and he's ignoring it. And it keeps ringing, but he looks at the computer and he notices that there's still a CD in the CD drive. So he kind of pries it open and he puts the blank CD that was in the computer into the 80s Rainbow Hits CD case.
Okay. Yep.
And then the phone is still ringing, so he picks it up and he's like, Aaron? And we just hear, she did what? Cut to him at Kayla's work, and the cops are there. Kayla's in Malik's car. Malik is talking to the cops. Malik comes back around, and he's like, what the fuck? And Kayla's like, she's a bitch. She deserved it. She told Tyler that I was going to give her AIDS, that I was going to give him AIDS.
Oh, fuck. She did deserve it. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah. And she's like, I get it. Different scares people. And Malik is like freaking out. And he's like, what I said about living loud and proud, forget it. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't talk about it. It's not safe. Do not draw attention to yourself. Do not live loud. Do not speak up. It's not safe. And he's like, Tyler only wants one thing from you. I don't want you hanging around him anymore. Promise me. And he's like, promise me. And Kayla's like, I promise. Cut to Kayla in her room making out with their strap. Immediately.
Oh, classic 16-year-old.
Yeah. And they're like ripping off their clothes. And he's like, it's over with Jessica. So it appears Jessica was the girl that was outside the...
Right, yeah.
It was Jessica. And they're like about to do it. And she's like, wait. And she's like, it's my first time. And he goes, oh, that's okay. And he's like, let's wait then. And she kind of starts buttoning back up her shirt. And she's like, do you not want me? And he's like, no, I do. I want it to be special. So that's all we see. So Kayla's never done it before. Cut to Malik in the car outside the house listening to the radio. And it's actual news of a Bill Clinton, whoever ran against Bill Clinton debate, just talking about Clinton wants to steal this election and radicalize feminism and take away your family unit and all this stuff. And I was just like, it's all the same. It's all the same propaganda. It never changes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Aaron looks out the window and sees Malik in the car. And Malik kind of looks up, hoping that Aaron will be like, come in. But he just closes the window and Malik cries. Flashback to that night. And we see that one of the dudes who gets out of the car looks like Marshall in Malik's head.
Yeah.
Question 8. Where do you go? And where does Malik go?
Fuck do I fucking know? I think that he goes to old sad man Trashkin's house to try to talk to the grandson to maybe figure out the fuck's happening. Or wait. What just happened before this?
He was kicked out.
No,
he's in his car.
He's in his car, and he's having a flashback.
Yeah, he was having a flashback. Yeah, while in the car. But the thing that happened in real time was that Aaron closed the curtains and was like, "Be somewhere else."
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll stick with that grandson situation. Oh man, it's tough. I already left Cold Town, USA. I'm not here anymore.
Yep. Nope. You got on the train out of Cold Town, USA, but that track is a circle.
Oh no. Or a spiral.
Yeah.
Because now this gets into the whole, I could leave, but that would be devastating to leave by myself.
Exactly.
The fuck am I going to do? I guess I'll do the same hand in hand because I got to figure out what the fuck's going on. Like, what happened?
Oh, sorry. I didn't need to pick up the bell because you got 0 points.
Thanks, bitch.
Yeah, sorry. He
100% 0 points.
Yeah, 100% 0 points. He does a shocking fucking thing. He goes to Marshall's house.
Oh, man. I was going to guess that, but I couldn't figure out why.
I mean, I was shocked. I was like, what? So
that's why I was asking about when the flashback happened, because I was like, oh, is it because he just saw Marshall on his flashback that he goes to Marshall's house?
Yeah. So he goes to Marshall's house and Marshall is like, Malik, like he's super nice. And he's like, I could use a drink. So they're having a drink inside and Marshall is like, so it isn't true. And he's like, no judgment. And Malik is like, it's not true. I don't think. Because he keeps having those time jumps.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I've just been really foggy lately. And Marshall starts talking about the hard drive. And it seems that Aaron brought the hard drive over to Marshall prior to finding the Polaroids to be like, Malik told me that his hard drive fried. I'm hoping you can get the information from his book off of it because Marshall works in tech, which we learned at the barbecue, whatever. Okay. So like he was like, and Marshall was like, but I mean, there was nothing on it. Like there's nothing. And he's like, I mean, except for the folder. And Malik is like, what folder?
The folder?
And he's like, you know the folder. And he's like, I don't know the folder. Malik also does not know the folder. And so he's like talking to Marshall, and they're kind of like walking, and then all of a sudden, time jump, Marshall is in a different room, but still talking like through the conversation.
Yeah.
And so Marshall is like, I would consider getting help. And he's like, I'll come by later to install your hard drive. But like, there it is on the bookshelf. So Malik walks over to pick up the hard drive, and he's looking at the Spiral book again. Marshall is right there behind him. And he's just like, it's an exciting time. So much change. But so many things stay the same, you know? And Malik is like, I gotta go. Bonus question. What did Malik take?
The Spiral book. The Spiral book. Spiral book. Me too.
Bonus point. So, yeah. He took the Spiral notebook. He gets to a hotel. So he checked into a hotel. And he goes in and immediately closes the blinds and pulls out the book. Then we see him in the bathroom, and the light is flickering in the bathroom. And he takes his pills because, like, he too is flickering. If you can imagine, like, mental flickering, that's clearly what Malik is experiencing. Mm-hmm. And he takes the pills, and he's still, like, in that sort of crazed migraine state, if you will. And then we see that he takes a gun out of his diddy bag. And what?
This is a weird statement. He takes a gun out of his diddy bag.
His diddy bag.
I only know what that is because you've said it before. I've never heard that in my entire life before you.
Well, what would you call it? Like, what is it?
Like your
that you put your toiletries in when
my
you're
toiletry
traveling.
bag.
That's
my
so
bag
long.
of toiletries.
Oh my God, that's so my bag of toiletries.
I would just say toiletries is what I would say. Like,
my toiletries.
My diddy bag. It's the same amount of syllables.
Anyway.
Has anyone ever heard the word diddy bag for that bag? I'm just interested.
I mean, that's what we called it. Mom, it's called a diddy bag, right? Okay.
But I could see like your mom just like making that up and calling it
No, we
that.
all call it a diddy bag. We all call it that.
Your family calls it that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I will get to the bottom of this. I will postmortem diddy bags. Anyway, he takes a gun out of it while he's in the bathroom having a very traumatic experience, Kim.
I had to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. And he puts bullets into the gun. Okay.
Okay.
Then he goes to the phone and dials, and it's the operator that's like from the 90s where it's like the number you dialed cannot be reached or whatever the fuck. And his head is like still ringing. And he looks down at the gun and doesn't know why he's holding it. Then he sees a silhouette outside of his blinds. And it looks like a straight up Baphomet horned goat monster.
What?
And we just hear outside the window, and so oh God. Malik is like freaking out, and he raises the gun and cocks it, blinks. The monster's gone. It was a silhouette of a woman who dropped her keys. And she's like, I just dropped my keys. I think we're the next room. He turns away and starts crying. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? He opens his eyes, looks at the bathroom. Girl in the bathroom. She runs toward him and disappears. So now we cut to him still in the motel room watching the videos that the ghost gave him, talking on the phone to Liam. And in the video, we just see a montage. So I'm going to describe kind of a quick going montage of what Malik is seeing in the book, what he's saying to Liam, and what we're seeing on the videotapes, okay?
Okay.
So we see videotape, Dyke scrawled across the house, woman who lived in the house, one of the lesbian
can you rewind
couple.
again? Where does the videotape come from?
He's watching it in the motel room. Oh, the ghost girl, remember he found it in the abandoned house and she like handed him a bunch of videotapes in the abandoned house.
Oh, I thought they were cassette tapes.
I probably said cassette tapes. They're videotapes. It's next to the billboard.
Okay.
Sorry, they're videotapes.
Okay, so what are the three things we're cutting between?
Malik's sitting in the room reading through the spiral book.
Right.
Things that he's saying to Liam on the phone.
Okay.
And what we're watching from the videotapes.
Okay. Continue. Thank you.
So we see a house with Dyke scrawled across the wall, and one of the lesbian couples saying, well, at least they told us how they really felt. And we get the sense that like the couple is literally documenting like by video everything that's happening to them.
Wow.
So then we cut to them opening presents, and old sad trash can man turns around and is smiling. It's clearly their dad, one of their dads, and then the girlfriend or wife. And then we flash to a circle dance like what we saw through the window, and it's also being filmed through the window. Then we cut to a blonde woman maniacally laughing in like a big creepy way. Then we cut to Malik telling Liam all about it. And he's like, they documented everything that happened to them every 10 years. Liam is like, every 10 years, what? And he's like, we've been chosen. It's a ritual. Liam is like, you're losing it, dude. And Malik is also reading through the book, and it says, there is nothing that can stop it. And he turns a page, and it's a picture of the flower that Tiffany gave him. And it says, the unbloomed, period. The final days prior to the sacrifice of the chosen ones. Then the video shows people in cloaks outside the home, standing there. Then we see a drawing of the flower that Tiffany brought. Then we see a monster in the book, a drawing of the monster that looks like the Baphomet monster silhouette that was outside. Then we get horrible, horrible headache. He gets up, runs to the bathroom, and kind of like fumbles to get his pills out and drops them. Mm-hmm. So he goes to pick them up and then stops. And he's looking at the pill. He's like, no. And he goes to his diddy bag and pulls out a refill of his pills. And he looks at them together. They're different.
Oh, no.
So he picks up the phone that Liam had been on. And he's like, they switched my meds. It's just the operator's voice again. Now the video shows the daughter of the lesbian couple, about 16 years old, playing a recorder. And she's playing The Saints Go Marching In as like on her recorder, just like being cute. Malik realizes something. Question 9, what do you do and what does Malik do at this point?
I guess I have to realize what he realized to know what to do.
It's a similar family unit.
I mean, I've put that together on my own. I was aware of that. Mm-hmm. I see why they're similar. Mm-hmm. I am going to. Okay. So the murder suicide was just the moms
and daughter.
All three are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's okay. That ruins my idea. Okay, then I guess he and I are both gonna go talk to Kayla. Because I have no idea. There's a lot of information that just got thrown at me.
I know. That's 1.5.
Oh my.
Go communicate. Go communicate. Half point, because he does have a realization about Kayla. But you'll see why it's just a half point. Because you said, go talk to Kayla. Cut to him driving as fast as he can back to the house. Headlights are behind him. He looks intoxicated, like shouldn't be driving. Mm-hmm. And he's barely able to stay alert. And he just like kind of screams in frustration. He pulls up to the house and he's like screaming for Kayla and Aaron. And he runs in, and there's a party inside. And we see a woman laughing, a blonde woman with a big maniacal laugh. And then Tiffany turns to Malik and says, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you made it." And she's like, "This is such a special night." And Aaron is like, "Where have you been?" And he's like, "You kicked me out." And he's like, "That was a week ago." Kim, what do you do? And what does Malik do?
I have been gone for a week. What's happening? I am going to pull Aaron aside. He's the only one I can trust. And I'm going to tell him everything that's happening. I've got the 2 different pills. I'm going to show him things. I've got receipts. Here they are.
Show me them receipts. Yeah.
With just our family unit only. And he is, God damn it, Malik. What are you going to do, Malik? I think that Malik is losing a little bit. I think he comes out with everything, but like in the middle of this party, like kind of in a little bit of a crazed way. Yeah.
1 point.
But also,
the answer is communicate.
Why the fuck are you having a party with the neighborhood when I've been missing for a week? Excuse me.
So, I think Malik is also curious. And then he remembers it's somebody's birthday. Kayla's or Aaron's, I can't really tell because Tiffany is carrying a birthday cake out into the living room.
Still weird.
And Malik is like looking crazed. And then Marshall turns to him and is like, "Hey, buddy, where have you been?" Malik holds up his gun and shoots Marshall.
Oh, shit.
Right through the fucking heart.
Oh, shit.
Everything turns to slow-mo. Tiffany carrying the birthday cake drops it. Aaron is like, "What the fuck?" Tyler comes out from Kayla's room upstairs and runs down and rushes to his dad, who's dead on the ground. And Malik is just standing there, like, looking super confused. Cut to Malik being walked into a jail cell. And he's just sitting there. Aaron comes in. And he's like, "I'm selling the house. Kayla and I are leaving. We're going back to Chicago." And Malik is like, "Oh my God, thank God. Thank God, please get as far away from this town as you can." And Aaron says, "It's not the town I'm running from, Malik." Malik is like, "I know you don't get what I had to do, but I did what I had to do. Liam knows everything." And Aaron goes, "Liam, who is Liam?"
No, I know Liam is fuck.
And Malik goes, "My ex-boyfriend. Just go talk to him. He knows everything." And Aaron just looks at him and says, "I can't talk to Liam, Malik." And he's like, "Why? Why can't you?" And Aaron just goes, "I have to go."
Oh, no. Fuck.
Malik cries and begs him, sobbing, as he leaves to go talk to Liam. And he's like, "I was just protecting her. It's Kayla that they want. I was just protecting her." Flashback to that night. We get the rest of the scene. They pull the boys out of the bullies pull the boys out of the car, and they're beating Liam to a pulp with a bat. And they leave. So they only just pulled Liam out. They get out. Malik then gets out. Liam is clearly dead, like eyes open, beaten to a pulp.
Yeah.
And we see baby Malik take his glasses. So now we cut to the camera on Kayla's Polaroid on the bulletin board, and Aaron knocking on the door. And he comes in, and Kayla's just sitting on the edge of the bed and crying. And Aaron sits down, and he's like, "It's just you and me now, kid. And he's like, but we're going to get through this. We always do. And I just wrote, really good dad. Like, he's such a sweetheart. So then we cut to Aaron in the dark, dark house, leaving Kayla's room. So, like, he shuts the door. And he walks past the flower on the table, which is in full bloom. Aaron sits down at Malik's computer. And up on the computer is, like, what he was writing. And so he starts reading it. And it's not the book he was supposed to be writing. And then his foot kicks something. And it's a videotape under the desk. So he watches it. It's a scene with the 1985 daughter at a neighborhood cookout. The girl that was playing the recorder looks just the same. And the daughter is like, Mom, can you guys stop recording me? She's like, I'm going to go find Ty. Then we hear a man talking about, I can't believe there was a break-in. And the video camera turns. It's Marshall and Tiffany. Across the way.
Oh, no.
The daughter is sitting with her teenage boyfriend from 10 years ago. It's Tyler. The very same thirst trap we came to know in 1995. Aaron stops the tape and is like, fuck. Cut to Malik asleep in his jail cell. Someone walks up. It's Marshall. Not dead.
Marshall.
And I wrote, unshot. And Malik is like, what the fuck are you? Just out with it. What the fuck are you? I'm like, now you're just a straight shooter with the communication, Malik. And Marshall says, I'm someone who's been around for a very long time.
Clearly.
Cut to Aaron calling for Kayla. Her door is locked and she's not answering. Cut to Marshall. And I wrote out exactly what Marshall said, so you'll pretty much be getting this verbatim. Cut to Marshall saying, I don't like this any more than you, but this is how it works, and this is how we make it work. Malik is like, just don't hurt her, please. Marshall is like, you know I can't do that. It's too late. Cut to Aaron trying to open Kayla's door. Then he hears something, turns, looks over the balcony into his living room. A dozen hooded figures standing there. So he starts to try to bust the door down now, but he hears a bell. So he slowly turns to where the bell came from, and we see that the door to Kayla's room opens, but he's like now no longer facing the door. He's facing out. All of the hooded figures are now directly in front of him.
Ah!
And the door to the room, there's this weird pink light. But so then we cut back to Marshall telling Malik, tonight, you broke out of jail. You had drugs in your system. You relapsed again. You killed her. You killed your husband and then yourself. Cut to terrifying masked hooded faces in Aaron's hallway. And he's cornered between them and Kayla's room. So he starts to back up and turns and is like, Kayla? On the foot of the bed is Tyler eating something covered in blood. The camera pans over. It is completely hollowed out Kayla on the bed.
Oh, no.
And Tyler is just munching away on her entrails. Aaron fucking scream cries. And here comes Tiffany over his shoulder, looks at her son and says, isn't it beautiful? Kayla's body totally disemboweled. Cut back to Marshall. That's what everyone will say, and not one soul will question it because of who you are. People won't care, Malik. They've already got their minds made up. They're afraid of you, and when the tides change, there'll be someone else to be afraid of.
Oh,
there always is. And there always will be. It's human nature, fear. We just exploit it.
Fuck.
So then he walks away whistling, "Oh, when the saints go marching in." Kim, last question. What was Malik's final move? And I'll tell you, it happened previously, but we didn't see it. It's not happening in the jail cell.
Okay. He put the tape for Aaron to find, and what did he do? He Is this what I do too, or this is just me guessing it?
No, both of you. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he didn't save Kayla. That didn't work out. That's for sure. He, can I get to know if it was like before or after shooting Marshall?
It was before. It was before.
Okay.
Before shooting Marshall. Before he was kicked out. Like before he left to go to the motel.
Oh. He did the spell or ritual or something from the book to join them.
To join them?
I don't know. To live, not join them, but to live forever.
Okay. And what did you do?
I don't. Okay. What did we do? It was before I left for the motel. God, that was so long ago, and I've been so crazy since then. It's
so crazy. Time jumps all over the place.
What did I know then? Is it something that I know about?
Mm-hmm. It was a process.
Man, I don't fucking know.
Well, this is what you would do. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I don't know either, because I don't remember where I was then versus where I am now.
You'd figured a lot out.
Okay. I and Marshall. No, wait. Malik. Who am
Malik.
I?
You're
Wow.
Malik.
Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm cancel my last one.
Okay.
I and Malik, hand in hand, put down everything. I put all of my communication into the book. I wrote down everything that has happened, and I put my receipts.
I'm going to put you out of your
book.
misery.
I put my receipts in the book. Oh my God, it took so long. I know.
It did.
Thank you,
But
everyone,
you got
for
there.
sitting with me. But I had to figure it out, and
You got there.
I knew I could.
You got there. So we got all the information from Marshall, right? In that last moment.
Yes.
But Malik had it figured out prior to this.
Yeah, he did.
So now we have a voiceover and a date. November 7th, 2005. Same town.
2005. What? Oh no! 10 years later. Fuck. Okay.
There's a new family moving into the house. There's a shot of Tyler as a teenager, Marshall and Tiff looking exactly the same as the new family drives by and they wave. Then we get a shot of the family, and the father is wearing a traditional turban-style headdress.
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it.
He waves back at Marshall. Tyler and Tiffany wave back as well. Voiceover of Malik. They find someone to vilify, and we see flashes of Malik scanning the Polaroids and recording his voice, interspliced with the Muslim family moving in, mom, dad, daughter. Voiceover. They do this so no one bats an eye. Mm-hmm. This happened to us our first night living here. Pic of the F word on the wall. Everything this town has done and is doing is in this document. Cut to the Muslim father looking out the window. Voiceover. I'm making this for you because I believe you are the next target, and so you have a chance. We see Malik burning a disc, and then we see the disc that he put into the 80s Rainbow Hits CD case. Mm-hmm. Cut to the daughter. Voiceover. I don't know who will find this or what kind of person you are, but my hope is that you might be the one to finally break the cycle. Mm. Daughter goes into what was Kayla's room and looks up and sees a strange stain on the ceiling. Cut to her going up into the attic. Just remember, hope is never silent. Cut to the daughter with a flashlight, and it stops on a CD case tucked into the corner. Spiral.
Oh my God. That was so fucking good.
Yeah. So I watched this the night of the debates. Yeah. I was, my brain house was disorganized. It was, yeah. There was some structural damage to my brain house.
I can imagine.
Whew. So, all right. So now I'll talk a little bit about like why this was made.
Do you want to do my points first?
Oh yeah.
Hi, Sammies. So we heard a rumor that you're not signed up for our awesome Patreon yet.
What? Where are you getting your BoneCon then?
It's cool. It's fine. You can still subscribe. Just hit the link in the show notes or search for us on Patreon. We're right there.
We've got all kinds of BoneCon.
That's bonus content.
We've got mini-sodes, postmortems, and Q&As, all live streamed. Polls, prizes, merch, and just a general smorgasbord of KK Sam.
So join us.
Or else. Okay. So... your Dead or Alives were abysmal. Congratulations.
Cool.
You got 1 out of 6.
Wonderful.
But with that bonus point, you got 2 out of 6. For questions, you got 15 out of 22 for a total of 17 out of 28.
I'm
reasonable.
I'm still a winner.
Yeah. You did a great fucking job.
The last question is the only thing I fucking care about after that.
Yeah. And you got it. And
I feel
Malik,
so good.
He doesn't fucking communicate. You know, that was a tough one.
Yeah, it was hard to get a fucking read on him for a while there.
Yeah. So, okay. So this is quintessentially a queer-themed horror film, obviously. The reason that I say that is because in the interview that I talked about, even John of John and Colin, who are the writers, mm-hmm. John is queer. Mm-hmm. And he even says in an interview, he's like, we wanted to make a queer horror film where people would see 2 men being affectionate with each other and living their queer lives without it being a thing.
Right.
Like, you know,
like that.
And he's like, and he's like, and no, I'm not talking about the gay Friday the 13th or the gay Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
Which I just think is so funny because it's like, that is like an iconic gay film, but it wasn't made for gay people. They claimed it because that was all that there was available to them. this is a movie that was like, no, I'm making this for gay people.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. The director, Curtis David Harder, directed Summerland and In Control, which I don't recall, but the producers of this film made Harpoon, which is one of the movies we did. They also produced Z and Stillborn, which I think is both of those I think are on our list somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Z is. I was just, someone in Gore Girls Night Out just posted about something, but I think it was Unborn.
Something. Yeah, I thought
not
this one is like,
yeah.
This one is still/born is
interesting.
Yeah. The trailer, they definitely picked up on the fact that it's got a very Get Out vibe.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
You know, for marginalized queer people as opposed to marginalized people of color. And the reviewer wrote, "It's a good thing that filmmakers have finally discovered how creepy the suburbs are." And I was like, yeah.
That's funny.
So just a couple excerpts from an interview. This was, people are asked about, is this in response to anything? And John, who's the queer writer, goes, "It was definitely a reaction to the 2016 election."
Wow.
And the divisive rhetoric that Trump was using, and just the way it was so viscerally obvious how human beings were being scapegoated, ultimately to stir up a base.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. It's very well done. I mean, they did a phenomenal job putting that into a piece of art.
Yes.
Very, very well done.
Yeah.
The actor who plays Malik, I'm not sure what his name is, but he is in American Horror Story.
Okay, see, I didn't know him from American Horror Story, but he's on Drag Race all the time.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I knew him.
Friday the 13th, which is one of our best pod buddies, they do have an interview with him, which I'm really excited to listen to now. So
Cool. I'll let Friday know that we just did this.
So everyone should go check that out. It's Friday the 13th. And they're wonderful. We love them.
Yeah. So that was Spiral. Go watch it, you guys. It's really great.
Watch it today.
The acting is impeccable, because the message is obviously so great. The storytelling is so great. And then on top of it, the acting is very good.
Yeah.
So
that was
Spiral.
A phenomenal movie. What a great job, and meaningful as fuck. And wow. Fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
All I can say is damn.
Yeah. So
thank you for sharing.
That's it.
Love it.
Yeah. And thank you for listening, Sammys. I'll say the normal stuff, and then you can remind people of a few of the new things. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at KKSam Podcast. Come talk to us over in our Facebook group, Sammy's Stay Alive Maybe. Check out our show notes. I'm sure Kim's going to post show notes that have a lot, like all the events coming up in October that we're doing. All that kind of stuff, and join our Patreon.
I think we said everything at the beginning. The only thing for this specific week is going to be basically it's this Saturday, October 10th, is when we have our live show. So it's part of Horrible. Oh my God. Sorry, Eric just walked by but
you just scared Kim on film, and because she saw just your shadow.
But no, it's because in the little picture is bigger. Like when we look at each other on screen, we can only see ourselves. And I just saw something move in the bottom picture of your thing. And at first I thought it was at my house, and then I was scared of that, and then I realized it was your house. Either way, it was scary. What the fuck is happening today? Jesus Christ, I've been scared by so much. October 10th, Saturday, Kedron's birthday bash, virtual live show, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Link will be in the show notes for tickets. We love you all so much.
So much. Come join our Patreon before October 31st and get entered into a drawing to win a Funko Pop doll. Join our Patreon in the year of 2020 and get 2 months free if you sign up for an annual membership.
This has been Kim and Kat. Stay alive.
Maybe.
So until next week.
Stay alive.
Stay alive.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
ghosted me.
I'm done.